2 men died in a fire in Llanrwst, Denbighshire, in 2014. The coroner found the fire was caused by a fault inside the door of a Hotpoint tumble dryer. Whirlpool owned Hotpoint. They knew about the fault. They did not recall the machines until July 2019. 4 years later, 800,000 of those machines were in British homes during every single one of those 4 years. That is not negligence. That is a calculation. This video will give you the brands doing the same thing right now, the brands repair engineers actually trust instead, and 4 checks to run before you spend £1 on any kitchen appliance again. Stand in the Currys appliance aisle and count the logos: Hotpoint, Indesit, Beko, Blomberg, Grundig. 5 brands, 5 price points, 5 separate promises. In March 2024, the UK Competition and Markets Authority cleared a deal that made every single one of them the legal property of one entity. Beko Europe, controlled 75% by Arçelik, owned by Koç Holding, Turkey's largest industrial conglomerate. The choice between those brands was never real. You were browsing one company's internal catalogue and nobody told you. Now look at the other half of that aisle. Bosch, Siemens, Neff, Gaggenau. 4 brands, 4 supposedly independent engineering traditions. What they actually are is BSH Hausgerät, wholly owned by Robert Bosch GmbH since January 2015, headquartered in Munich. BSH acquired Neff in 1982, Gaggenau in 1994, and bought out Siemens in September 2014. It posted €15.3 billion in annual sales in 2024. The consumer who spends a morning comparing Neff against Siemens against Bosch is comparison shopping within a single company's price ladder and calling it research. At the mass market tier where most British households shop, 2 corporate structures own almost everything on the shelf. Neither Currys nor AO.com nor John Lewis displays parent company information on any product page. Now here is what sits inside that structure. Not all Bosch is the same Bosch. Series 2 and some Series 4 Plus models are manufactured at BSH's Spanish Belay facilities. Series 6 and above come from German factories. These are different production environments with different build standards. This distinction appears nowhere on UK packaging. Repair technicians who work across the Bosch, Siemens and Neff range have noted on UK White Goods Trade Association forums that the 3 brands share significant PCB and motor component architecture. A single design fault in that shared component base does not affect one brand. It affects 3 simultaneously, sold at 3 different price points, to consumers who believe they were buying from 3 different manufacturers. The tier ladder is real. The engineering independence behind it is not. Back to Beko Europe. 2014 is not where the documented failures end. In 2016, Michel Maloney died as a result of a fault in a Beko DCS 85W tumble dryer. That machine had already caused approximately 20 fires in the UK before her death. Beko's own quality control chief Andrew Mullin acknowledged that smaller models in the same range had already been recalled due to hundreds of safety incidents. Hundreds. Before a death occurred. 5 months after the 2019 tumble dryer recall, Whirlpool announced a second recall, 519,000 Hotpoint and Indesit washing machines. A door lock fault that posed a fire risk affected models made between October 2014 and February 2018. Rachel Reeves, then chair of the Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy Committee, stated that Whirlpool's response had owed more to PR management than to making machines safe. In October 2024, Beko Europe closed its Yate facility near Bristol. 142 jobs were lost. the site had operated since 1917. It was the last UK tumble dryer manufacturing site. British appliance production on that site is over. The recall was eventually issued. The law that was supposed to prevent the next version of this has a specific, exploitable gap in it. In July 2021, the UK introduced right to repair legislation under the Eco-Design for Energy-Related Products regulations. Manufacturers of washing machines, dishwashers, and fridges must make spare parts available for 7 to 10 years after a model is discontinued. It sounds like protection. There is no price cap on those parts. No. A manufacturer can comply fully with the law and charge whatever they want. Which? Magazine's June 2025. Survey of 126 members who had attempted repairs found one respondent quoted over £300 for a drain hose. A Samsung dishwasher pump motor costs £131 from Samsung's own UK spares site, plus a £149 engineer call-out before any labour begins. Which found that 10% of repair attempts in their 2024 homeowner survey failed entirely because parts were unavailable. The legislation also excludes tumble dryers, cookers, microwaves, and hobs entirely. The EU's 2024 directive covers most of those. The UK's does not. Since Brexit, British consumers have weaker right to repair protections than their European counterparts. The law exists, it does not work. Beko Europe is 75% Arcolic and 25% Whirlpool EMEA Holdings. It is the parent of Hotpoint, Indesit, Beko, Blomberg, Grundig, Flavel, and Leisure. Per Competition and Markets Authority Phase 2 investigation evidence, Hotpoint and Indesit alone accounted for between 50 and 60% of Whirlpool's UK major domestic appliance sales from 2020 to 2022. These are not fringe brands. They are the centre of the British market. The Michelle Maloney death, the 20 prior UK fires, the Hotpoint coroner's finding, the 800,000 dryers in British homes for 4 years, the 519,000 washing machines recalled in 2019, and the end of UK manufacturing at Yate. That is the documented record of the entity selling appliances at the cheapest tier of the British market right now. BSH Hausgeräte is wholly owned by Bosch Group since January 2015. The harm here is not fire deaths, it is premium extraction. The consumer paying £1,200 for Neff believes they are buying from a brand with an independent 148-year engineering heritage. Neff has been inside BSH since 1982. Gaggenau, positioned at ultra-premium prices, is built in the same Turkish factory as BSH's Thermador line, per Yale Appliance's 2026 service call analysis of 33,190 real repair events. 1 Munich boardroom, 4 price points, 0 independent engineering cultures. Drop a comment right now. What brand is in your kitchen? And did you know who actually made it before today? The comment section on this video will show you that you are not alone in this. There are brands in this market that operate on a completely different model. Brands that repair technicians recommend without being asked to kit. Because they see the inside of these machines and they know what actually lasts. This is the list that exists in no shop floor training manual and no retailer brochure. Start with Miele. Miele was founded in 1899 in Gütersloh, Germany, by Karl Miele and Reinhard Zinkan. Today, the company is owned 51.1% by the Miele family and 48.9% by the Zinkan family. No external shareholders. No quarterly earnings call. No private equity exit strategy. The people whose name is on the machine are the people making the engineering decisions, And that ownership structure is the direct explanation for what comes next. Miele is the only appliance manufacturer in the world that tests every product to the equivalent of 20 years of average use. For a washing machine, that means 10,000 hours of operation and 5,000 wash programs completed before the product is approved for sale. No other manufacturer publishes this standard because no other manufacturer's ownership structure allows them to commit to it. A publicly listed competitor with a quarterly earnings call cannot absorb the development cost that standard requires without shareholder pressure to reduce it. The consequence shows up in independent verification. Miele dishwashers are the only appliance line to hold both a Which Best Buy and a Which Eco Buy simultaneously. That is not a manufacturer claim. That is Which. Magazine. In the UK, Miele washing machines start at approximately £900 and dishwashers from approximately £800. Available at John Lewis, Appliances Direct, and directly at miele.co.uk. Register the product and the standard 2-year warranty extends to 5 years, covering parts and labour at no additional cost. The honest caveat is this: Miele parts are expensive outside warranty. A Which? Respondent in June 2025 was quoted over £300 for a drain hose from a Miele engineer. The machine almost never needs one, but when it does, it costs real money. Over 20 years, it still costs less than 3 hot points. Now, the conditional list. Bosch Series 4 and above is a defensible choice. Yale Appliances 2026 analysis placed Bosch among brands with first-year service rates under 10%. The condition is non-negotiable. Series 4 and above must be manufactured at German facilities, not at the Ballet plant in Spain. This distinction is never disclosed at the point of sale in any UK retailer. Ask which series and where it was manufactured before committing. If the retailer cannot answer, treat it as Series 2 until proven otherwise. Smeg, founded in 1948 by Vittorio Bertazzoni and still privately held, sits entirely outside both Beko Europe and BSH structures. A British consumer buying Smeg is buying from a manufacturer with no external shareholder and no connection to any consolidation documented in this video. UK dishwashers start from approximately £500. Caveat: parts and service availability outside major UK cities is more variable than Miele or Bosch. Verify local engineer coverage before purchasing. Fisher & Paykel requires the most significant caveat of the three. The engineering case is real. Their drawer dishwasher architecture is genuinely distinct from anything in the Beko Europe or BSH catalogues, and their independent drum washing machine design removes the belt between motor and drum, which is statistically the most common single failure point in that category. UK pricing starts from approximately £1,300. Plainly stated, Fisher & Paykel has been owned by the Haier Group since 2012. It fails the ownership independence test that Miele and Smeg pass. Include it for engineering differentiation only. UK specific reliability data, disaggregated from Haier Group reporting, is not yet available from which. Check 1. Search the brand name and the words parent company before you reach any checkout. It takes 90 seconds. It will tell you whether you are inside the Beko Europe structure, BSH, or something independent. If the result is a publicly listed conglomerate with a quarterly earnings call, you know exactly what sits at the top of their engineering priority list. Check 2. Verify that an authorized service engineer exists within a reasonable distance of your postcode. Rural areas in Scotland, Wales, and Northern England have documented service coverage gaps across multiple major brands. A machine with no local engineer means every repair begins with a travelling call-out fee of £149 or more before any diagnosis takes place. Check 3. Compare the manufacturer warranty against John Lewis's standard 2-year guarantee before deciding where to buy. The legal minimum in the UK is 1 year. John Lewis provides 2 years at no additional cost. Maelle registration adds 3 further years on top, bringing total coverage to 5 years of parts and labour for free. These are not equivalent offers. Check 4. Before agreeing to any repair, apply the 50% rule. If a repair quote exceeds 50% of the current replacement cost on a budget tier machine, replacing it is the statistically rational choice. On Miele and equivalent brands, the threshold is higher because the replacement cost resets a 20-year lifespan clock. Now the arithmetic. 25 years, 3 paths. All figures are in UK pounds. Budget path, hot point or equivalent. Purchase price, £350. Current Currys pricing. Average UK lifespan for this tier, 8 years, per Grange Electrical's 2025 UK Repair Guide. 3 machines over 25 years. 3 call-outs at £125 each that end in a recommendation to replace. Total, £1,050 in machines plus £375 in call-outs. Conservative, 25-year total, £1,425. 3 installations, 3 disposal events, 3 periods without a functioning washing machine. Mid-range path, Bosch Series 6, approximately £700. Expected lifespan, 12 to 14 years. 2 machines over 25 years. 1 repair at approximately £150. Total, approximately £1,550. More expensive than the budget path. Not the buy once solution the price premium implies. Premium path. Miele Entry W1 washing machine. Approximately £1,100. Tested lifespan, 20 years. 1 machine over 25 years. 1 possible repair at £300 worst case. Total, £1,400. The budget machine costs more over 25 years than the Miele. It also requires 3 purchases, 3 installations, 3 disposals, and 3 breakdowns. The Miele requires 1 of each. The sticker price is the least important number you will encounter in a kitchen appliance shop this weekend. Those 5 brand names on the Currys shelf: Hotpoint, Indesit, Beko, Blomberg, Grundig. 1 company cleared by a British regulator in March 2024. 2 men died in a fire caused by one of those brands' products, and the recall took 4 years to arrive. The UK kitchen appliance market has consolidated into a duopoly that sells the same cost-cutting decisions under different logos at different prices. And British consumers are paying for it with their money, their time, and in the worst documented cases, with their lives.